Welcome to What's Your Alley?
Happy to be here.
I'm here with Rengie. Tell us a little about your business.
So, one of my businesses is Cliente, and we are a review collection agency. So, what that means is we partner with local businesses
Mhm.
and we take over their entire review collection process. That means we chase your customers for you to get those reviews,
Okay.
and you just wake up to new reviews.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so what's sort of been the feedback with people that you've been working with?
Oh, life changing. A lot. So the goal of the business is to, or the service is to get you seen and get you chosen when it comes to people searching for you in Google, for example, right? So
Okay.
when somebody's searching for a service in Google, if it's a local business, you see the map pack, right?
Mhm.
And they only give you like the top three. Google decides which one to show, which business to show. And if you're not there, obviously you're invisible. So our goal is to make sure you're in the top three and also that you're chosen. So if you end up in the top three and say you have 500 reviews, your biggest competitor has 100 reviews, then who's the obvious choice? Right. So
Right.
that's the goal, is for you to be the obvious choice.
Right. Have you seen your businesses have a revenue impact from working with
Oh,
you?
yes, definitely. I mean, not everybody, gives me sort of like their
Sure.
P&Ls, right?
Sure.
But feedback from clients, it basically give them more revenue. They don't tell me the exact numbers, but basically they tell you, hey, just with this reviews. Actually, this is a more recent feedback from a flooring company. We started using it, and I told him, so whenever you get a new customer, ask them how they found you, right? So we can kind of quantify where the lead is coming from, and if it's happening, and if we can attribute it to the reviews.
Right.
And literally about a month and a half after, it's like I asked the last three customers we had, and basically told him that we called you because of your reviews, because of the reviews that we see, and it
Wow.
just makes sense.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's immediate impact.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's
very
it's real
rare
quick.
for
Yeah.
marketing to move that fast.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yeah. And it's social proof. So we can talk about how great we are 24/7, but until other people say how great we are, then that's what people believe, not
Mhm.
necessarily what we say.
Right, this third-party
Of
verification they're
course. Yeah.
looking for. Right,
hmm
that's great, and your company makes it happen.
We make it happen. Yeah. And some of them actually got awards, like the most reviews. They're the top rated in their industry. And the biggest impact is once they surpass their biggest competitor. Because the biggest concern is they would come to me and they say, hey, I never thought about reviews, but there's a competitor next door who's been here for like a couple of months, and all of a sudden they had like 100 or so reviews. It's like, how does that happen? I was like, I couldn't tell you, but here's what we can do. And then that's when we start working together. And that's when they really start to see the competition, because now they're competing, they're ramping up on their reviews. And once they pass them, that's what kind of like you see a sense of relief for them. It's like, okay, finally I'm on top of the chain.
Right. It's amazing that it's really just one thing.
Yeah, it's just one thing.
It's just one thing that can make that big of a difference
Yeah.
for a company, especially a small business in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
So yeah, and the funny thing is, not everybody thinks about reviews, or at least worry about reviews until it's time to worry about it.
Right.
So I would say more than half of my clients came to me because they're being crushed. And
Mhm.
unfortunately for a lot of them, it was too late. But we're still able to kind of let them catch up and pass their
Right,
competitors.
amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, if somebody was looking for your business, where would they go?
So you can go to clienti.com, CLIENTI.com.
Great. Okay, well, we now know that you have this wildly successful business that's doing big things for small
hmm
business. So let's go way back from the beginning. We're
Oh,
going to talk about your journey now.
all right.
We're going to talk about entrepreneurship and all the things that come
Mm-hmm.
with it, and how you have built what you've built. So I'll ask you to go back really as far as you can think, maybe even maybe jobs that aren't exactly what you're doing now, but
Mhm,
or maybe even something that just who you are was influenced into who you are and became an
mhm.
entrepreneur. But let's go like way back,
Oh, way back in
way
terms
back.
of like who like
Yeah,
oh,
let's go way
and
back.
this is way back. I can go either, you pick, when I was 8 years old or when I was 14.
Oh, let's go to 8.
Oh,
Let's do it.
so
Let's do it.
just a quick backstory.
Yeah.
So I grew up with my grandparents, and this is way when I still lived in the Philippines. So I grew up with my grandparents because my mom was here in the States working, right? So it's a typical Filipino family journey where one or both parents migrate to a different country to work so they can send money back, right?
Right.
So that's sort of like a very common thing back then, and even now, right?
Mhm.
So I grew up with my grandparents, and we weren't poor, but we only had enough to, for basic necessities, right? Food, clothes, and shelter. So if I wanted toys, if I wanted anything outside of that, the bare essentials, I had to figure out how to get it myself. So at an early age, that's why I say it started at 8. It's like, how can I make money? So I would go to the market, um, and I would buy sort of like a wholesale, you know, chips and snacks.
Yeah.
And I would open our window and basically have a little mini store
At 8.
at 8. Yeah.
You're already doing business at 8 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah. So because we gotta figure out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's one, and there's also sort of like a bad side into it because at an early, well, this is what, maybe later, I would say 10, 11, I learned how to play mahjong. It's like a tile game. It's like an
Yeah.
Asian tile game.
Yeah.
And in where we lived, we had the grandmas. The grandmas would play mahjong. I was like, I want to play, and of course, you got to play for money. So I had to scrap for coins. So apart from selling snacks from my
Right.
kitchen window,
Right.
basically.
Right.
Uh, One thing I would do is I would walk around the neighborhood, look for empty Coke bottles. Because back then, when you buy a Coke,
Yeah.
Coca Cola from a store,
Right.
you have to pay a deposit. So let's say the Coca the soda is, let's say, $1, right? You have to pay $1.50. The 50 cents is a deposit for the bottle to make sure that you return it because they need it. So because when they buy
Right.
wholesale, it's kind of like an exchange, right?
Right.
Empty
They get it
Coke
back.
bottle, yeah.
Right.
So they would ask for deposits. So I would look for empty Coke bottles out on the streets, and if I see them, I would wash them. I would wash them,
Yeah.
and I would go back to the store and say, "Oh, here's my bottle."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right.
worth 25 cents at the time. It's
Yeah.
25 cents, right? And the more Coke bottles I get, then the more coins I have, so I can play mahjong. So at an early age, basically, we just had to figure out how to make it,
Right.
whether it be 25 cents, whether it be however much money you need. We just had to hustle.
And you're picking it up and you're actually doing better for the city by doing
Yeah,
that
yeah,
or the town because otherwise it's just going to sit there and be
yeah,
smushed and turn into glass and somebody's going to step on it and hurt
yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
So
yeah. All for gambling money.
that's right.
Yeah, and it's just such a weird. I mean, if you picture it now, imagine all the grandmas, like three grandmas and a kid playing mahjong.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
me.
That's great.
Yeah, I think that was my first. I guess you can say that's the first entrepreneurial endeavor to make
Totally.
money.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it might be gambling, but you are spending time with the grandmas
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
learning a lot of lessons
Oh,
in
yeah.
those
Oh,
games, I'm
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And it was fun too.
Do you remember when you were that young and you were hustling like that? Did it just feel like just what you did? Did you love it? Did you feel like, oh, I wish didn't have to do this? Like, do you remember your headspace back then when you were young?
Emotion wise, like,
Mhm.
I don't remember how. I just knew I had to do it.
Yeah. Just
I just
like,
knew I
it's
had to
just
do
what
it.
you do.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you need money for whatever. We just figured it out.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, is this. I mean, of course, there's like a right or wrong. Obviously,
Right.
stealing is not part of the option,
Right. Right.
but like sort of legitimate ways, like I mean, the whole Coke thing, I think that's sort of like gray area, right?
Well,
If
they're laying around.
they're laying
They're
around
laying
and it's
around
worth
there
25 cents,
and they're
whatever.
trying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at that point, that would be somebody's just left it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're not.
It's like
Yeah,
you left your quarter right there. I'm just gonna pick it up. It's mine now.
yeah.
That's kind of how I thought about it.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah,
So yeah, but in terms of like really feeling like the feeling, like I don't remember feeling anything, or I just know it's something we had to do,
yeah,
or I had
yeah.
to do.
You needed to do it to make money, to
Yeah,
be able to do the things you wanted to do.
yeah,
Yeah. That's what it is today.
yeah,
We work so that we can support our families or do the things we want to do.
yeah,
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 and,
it's
yeah,
fantastic.
and same. So it's sort of like a figuring out different ways to make money. Fast forward a little bit to when I was 14. That's when I started. Okay, I got to do something more legitimate,
Yeah,
right? So back then in the Philippines, there's a lot of MLMs.
okay. Yeah.
I sold. I don't even know. I mean, because like there's no such thing as regulations over there. If you can make money, you make money.
Right.
So I think I sold. It's called squalene. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Mhm.
It's like basically it's a supplement. It's a deep sea shark liver oil.
Okay.
And they, so I sold that. I sold. There's also this thing. It was from Japan. It's called the bionormalizer. It's also another health supplement. It's an MLM, right? So I sold that. And there's this other thing. This is kind of like my favorite story to tell is, and there's this product called the magnetizer. What it is, it's really just a pair of magnets. And their claim, I don't know if it's even proven, but their claim is that because back then there's a lot of diesel engines, like the majority of the public vehicles in the Philippines were run on diesel.
Mm.
So there's this company who came up with this magnets, and their claim is that if you clamp this to the air intake of your vehicle or on the fuel intake, what it's supposed to do is supposed to magnetize sort of like the molecules of either the fuel or the air to
Yes.
kind of keep them organized. That makes it more efficient.
Okay.
That was a claim.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's a good promise. It sounds pretty good. So I joined the company. I was 14, right? So I joined the company, and I was like, I want to target like bus companies, because in the Philippines, a lot the buses are ran by private companies, so
Mhm.
private bus fleets.
Now how old are you?
14,
14?
14 at that time.
Wow. Okay.
So imagine this 14-year-old lanky, right, little lanky kid walking to the offices of the fleets and
Yeah.
asking to talk to the manager to do the pitch.
What confidence, though. I mean, to be 14 and walking up there
I
and
don't know if I call it confidence.
you just didn't know any better? You
It's
just
just,
did?
yeah. It's like, I mean, now I would probably be more. I think I'd be more conscious, self
Yeah.
conscious at my age now to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
Back then, it was just like, do it.
yeah. There's a lesson in that, like, to maybe not lose that so much as we get older.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's been it was tough because it's like I never sold one, to be
Mhm.
honest. Because like, why would you? And I get it. In hindsight, I get it now. You're
Mm.
talking to like a fleet manager of a bus company,
Right.
and you're this 14-year-old kid
Yeah,
trying to sell them something.
yeah.
I get it now, right? But that time it was we just had to go and do it.
What'd you learn from that?
That it's tough.
Yeah.
That it's tough selling.
Yes.
And I guess one of the things that really stuck with me is that in a negative way, because after that I was afraid to sell after that
Mm.
because of all the rejections.
Mhm.
And it wasn't only until literally a couple of months ago that I gained my confidence back in selling. I had to
Really?
fix myself.
Wow, it stayed with you for a long
Oh
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that's part of the reason I think,
yeah,
but obviously there's a lot more. I said environmental
yeah.
factors that made me averse to selling. That's just one of them.
Okay.
Like I said, it's only until I had to find a fix. I had to do some internal work to kind of switch it back on.
Well, this is a really good conversation because I think there's a lot of people that feel like that, that they are adverse to it and. So
Mhm.
you so So what happened? So after 14, you had that
Mhm.
experience and you're like, "Ooh, I don't know about selling
Yeah,
anymore," but that's how you were making money,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so what happened after
I
that?
still, I still, I. So instead of going the like targeting big companies,
Yeah.
I ended up doing the local business route because I was more. I wasn't as scared. So
Yeah.
I remember, so my mom bought me my very first computer. It's like a really really old computer. This was back
Yeah.
in, I think this was back in '94.
Yeah.
Got me our first computer with an inkjet printer at the time. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I can do prints. So I was like, so one thing that I did is I walked around the neighborhood and the nearby local business, like the bakeries, the hardware stores, like the little shops. I say, hey, I want to. Uh, you need business cards because it's very expensive to get legitimate. Like
Right.
if you get it printed,
Right.
especially back in the '90s, it was
Yeah.
so
Right.
nobody does it. So what I would do is I would go to our local bookstore. I would buy card stock and I would using Word Perfect at the time.
Yeah.
I would just create a document with their, company name. It's like a business card,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And maybe 10 or 12 in one sheet. And I didn't even have one of those cutters. I would literally hand cut them with
Hand cut. Oh
scissors.
my goodness. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
That's a
would
lot of
sell a
work.
stack. I would sell a stack. I mean, it was cheap.
Yeah.
I would charge like at that time, I think I was charging like 20 pesos, which is in today's, this is in today's number, it's like
Yeah.
50 cents
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
like a stack. It's not even a set count. It's just give
Right.
them a stack. Hey,
Just
here's
a
your business
stack.
card. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What did they buy it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
would do it. I would only do it if they say, okay, it's like 20 pesos.
Right.
And
But you so you're kinda, like, back in the game again.
yeah,
You're
not just
you
in
had
that kind of like big because that
yeah.
I wouldn't say ruined me, but it did something.
Yeah.
Being rejected by the big companies, and
Yeah.
it's like there's also that shame,
Mm.
I think,
Mhm.
because it's like, what am I, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So, but when it comes to like smaller businesses, like I have no shame. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you need this, you want it?
Yeah.
Yes, here we go.
Right, right. Okay, so you started selling cards, business
Yeah,
cards.
if you can call it that.
I would call it that. Yes, I think that's
Yeah,
impressive. You're young, you've created something yourself, you're going around to
uh,
people you don't know and you're selling it. Yeah,
yeah,
I would say so.
yeah. It,
So, it's so you do that and
yeah,
that's working.
that's
So then
working.
what happens after that?
So what happens after I was still in high school? When I graduated high school when I was 16, and I thought I was going to go to college. And there's this college that I wanted to go to. Uh, so I took I took the exam. It turns out I wasn't smart enough for that college. So I was like, all right.
Maybe you just didn't test well that day.
Well,
You're a
I was a
test
bad
taker.
student. I was a real so. But in the Philippines, it's sort of like a caste system when it comes to the school. So you can
Okay.
tell. So just really by looking at the school, which one which were the smart student, which one are the smart students. So in let's say one level, whether you're let's say junior or even first grade all the way to uh 10th grade, right?
Okay. Yeah.
There's this thing called sections. So that means all the first graders they put you in sections.
Yeah.
Section one, section two, until maybe five or six, depending on how big the school is. The thing is, how they do it is when you test the early on kindergarten test, the smart ones are always on the section one or section A, and then the worse you score, then the far back you go, right? And
Okay.
even in that section, there's rows, right? There's rows
Right.
of seats. The smartest ones are in the front row. And then
So it's, like, out there.
it's out there, yeah,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
when I was in kindergarten, I aced tests. So I was in section A
Yeah.
on kindergarten until I hit third grade. As soon as I hit third grade, or actually no, third grade, I was still in section A, but I was moving back from first grade, second grade, I was moving back in rows. So I was getting worse a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
And then after third grade, I got to like section C.
Okay.
And it just went downhill from that. When I graduated high school, I was literally in the last section in the last row.
Well, that's not an uncommon story for entrepreneurs. You
I
hear that a
yeah,
lot.
yeah,
You hear it a lot.
I
You
hear
really
that.
do. And it's interesting because and I don't know, I mean, I don't know if this is related, who knows, but it's interesting that it sounds like around the time that you started moving back, you
Mhm.
actually started doing business.
I've never I've never kind of plotted it that way, but
Yeah.
it's true. It's somewhat related
Yeah.
where it's yeah.
Yeah. So it almost draws a question. I wonder if it has something to do with either your brain's just functioning different, like you start thinking different, you're
Uh-huh.
doing different, and or it is your time. You're just like, hey, look, I'm gonna go make some money.
Yeah.
That's my priority. Not so much taking the test.
Yeah.
I need to go make some money.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's that
It's all happening at the same time.
and I never liked school.
Well,
I I
yeah.
I I mean, there were people, I mean, I had classmates who were like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna study, I'm gonna do my homework."
Yeah.
I So one of the things that my grandma kinda always told my mom, because she would tell on me to my mom,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Your son," like, he would come home from school with his backpack, he would put down his bag and won't pick it up until the following day we asked to leave for school. So I never did homework.
Because
I
you were
never
hustling.
Part of it, and
Yeah.
part of it is like I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was that's what I
It's
said.
a hustle thing.
I was a bad student. Like and this is the first time I'm actually saying this, I guess, publicly now.
Yeah.
The only reason I graduated is because the principal of the school was my sister's boyfriend's mom at the time.
Okay.
So
You were in the right place at the right time.
yeah, and literally my graduation day, senior right graduation day, I walked. Okay, I walked, but and back then it wasn't like a roll diploma; it was in a folder.
Yeah.
My folder was empty
Mm,
because I didn't even pass. The condition was okay if you take 2 months of remedial classes post graduation,
right.
then you'll get your diploma.
Yeah.
So I walked with an empty.
Yeah.
So I wasn't a model student. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. So
So when it comes to college, right? It's like, oh, I wanted to go to this college. It actually it was sort of like weird because I felt like such a high achiever, knowing that I don't really have any accolades to show for. It was actually one of the top universities in the Philippines. It's like the University of the Philippines, right?
yeah. Yeah.
And I remember taking the test, and then I came back, and one of the I don't know if it's a dean or like an admissions person, basically just told me in my face, like, your math is horrible, in my face. I was like, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So it turns out I was like, okay, so at that time I was like, I think college is like not for me. And then I had so my cousin, my older, I know we're probably going off on a tangent here,
Oh, this
but
is great.
so I had a cousin who went to this college next to the college that I wanted to go to, but she's 2 years ahead of me. So there were times that we would like me and my other cousin would pick her up, right? And that college used to be at that time it's already a co-ed institution, but it used to be an all girls school. So when we would come and pick her up, it's like all these women, girls, right? It's like I was like, I want to go to that
Yeah.
school. And so after I didn't pass on the University of the Philippines, I was approved. I got accepted for that school.
To the all-girls school?
Well, it was all girls like a couple years before
Oh,
that,
it
and
shifted.
then it
Okay.
shifted to a
I
co-ed.
see, I
So
see. You're it's a co-ed school now.
yeah,
Okay.
and my motivation to go to that school is just the girls, because
Yeah,
it's like
right.
I would say at that time there was 25% of the census of the population were guys,
Okay. Okay.
and
Yeah. Well,
half of
because they had been all girls.
yeah,
So
because it used to be all girls,
they're
right?
just moving into
Yeah,
co-ed. Yeah.
and half of the guys are gay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so I was like, oh, the ratio would be pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I got accepted. I was excited.
Yeah.
And then my mom called. I was like, well, your sister's pregnant. Well, because my sister's already living in the States in LA. And my mom calls like, well, your sister's pregnant. She's about to give birth. You're coming here. You're going to be babysit your nephew or niece. I didn't know what it was at the
Yeah.
time. So I was like, "Oh, well, not a," so I was like, at that time I was like 16, right? I just
It's
graduated
all
high school.
happening so
Yeah,
young. Yeah.
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 So I had no choice. I listened to my mom. It's like,
Yeah.
all right. And then that's when I left everything there, moved to the States, and basically landed with a $20 a week babysitter job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how
Well,
I
how did you
started.
feel about that move? Like, how did you I mean, that's a significant moment in your
Mhm,
history,
mhm.
if all of that is, you're out of school, you're babysitting, you're moving, like, I mean, that's a pretty significant change. Like, how did you feel in all of that happening?
I don't know how I felt. Growing up, feeling wasn't an option.
Okay. You just
Like,
did.
yeah, nobody, and it's one of those. I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but
Mhm.
nobody asks us how we feel about things.
Yeah.
It's always been like, oh, this is the situation. We just roll with it.
Yeah.
So at that time, when my mom asked me to move to the US, it's like, okay,
Yeah. You just go.
yeah, you just go.
And you just
Said
you
bye to
get
my
with it. Yeah.
friends. Like, I literally told my friends the day before I left.
That's such a huge change,
Yeah.
to be in the mindset of, "Well, here we go. Let's
Yeah.
do it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it
There's
wasn't
a
my
strength
first
in
time.
that too.
Yeah. It wasn't my first time going to the States. I was 12 when we all went here for the first time with my sisters. Right. But my sisters ended up staying. I ended up going back. And I was kind of going back and forth. Um, I did like junior high in LA, but then my mom was like, well, there's a lot of gang stuff in LA. So I was
Mhm.
like, you're going back. And also it made sense because we graduated at 16. So I was like, okay,
Right.
we'll just finish high school there at 16 and then we'll figure it out.
Mm.
So yeah, it's not like it kept me up at night. It's just what it is.
Right.
And
Right. So
we
you
just rolled
move.
with it. Yeah.
So
So
you move, and now
moved to
you're
LA.
babysitting,
I was babysitting.
and now you're here.
I did a poor job babysitting because my grandma was with me, and it was practically my grandma basically babysat.
Mhm.
That was the time of the AOL.
Mm,
I was on AOL,
okay.
and it's funny. One of the stories that I tell my nephew. I mean, he's 30ish now, right? I think he's over 30 now. But when he was a baby, he would wake up, and my grandma would walk out to the living room with him. And I was like, here. So I was in AOL. I was like, I'm chatting. So I would take my nephew and I would spin him. So he gets dizzy and he falls back asleep, and it was a terrible thing. And I tell my nephew that when he was like younger, I was like, no wonder when he was a kid, like
Yeah.
he was always car sick.
Oh,
Like he
really?
didn't want to ride in cars. And he said it's because of that. Like, how do you even know?
Yeah, yeah. I have no idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah. So I was making $20 a week with my grandma taking care of my nephew.
yeah,
I would say 75% of the time.
yeah,
Uh, and then I started working. I was like, I need to make real money.
yeah.
So I worked at McDonald's.
Okay.
I lasted for about a week, week and a half. Because I was like, I was excited. I would work for McDonald's, and I would always ask the manager, I want to make burgers because that's why I'm here for. It's like,
Right,
no. So when you're new, you mop the floors.
right.
You did like the grunt work. So I was like, when am I going to flip burgers? Nope. You wash the fryer, right? He wouldn't let me flip burgers. So at that time, there was this one day, my last day, basically said, you got to clean up the fryer at closing. And I go, you know what? I don't even wash the dishes at home. And I just walked out
Mhm,
because I wanted to flip burgers and they won't let me
mhm.
flip burgers.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that was and I guess still going through that journey, right?
yeah,
I was 16ish at that time. And if you knew Filipino culture, uh, your parents have dreams for you.
mhm.
Most Filipinos, they're known to be nurses,
Okay,
right? So if you're Filipino and you want to be a professional, your typical path is either you're doing nursing or you're doing accounting,
okay,
right? And when you're a Filipino in the United States, you're either an accountant, nurse, or a mailman, a postal employee.
okay.
Because at least my mom, It's all about the steady income and the benefits and job security. So I quit McDonald's, and my mom's like, "Well, there's an opening. There's a testing that's happening right now for the postal service. You should take the test so you can work for the federal government."
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right, whatever." So it's just me and my brother-in-law. We went to take the test. It was somewhere. We had to drive somewhere to take the test, and they only offer the tests like a few times a year. So you got to go. You got to be there. It's not like it's an open enrollment kind of thing. We got lost. We couldn't find a place at that time. There's no GPS. There's no.
Right. Right. You have no cell
We
phone.
had I don't know if you remember it's Thomas Guide.
Um, I don't know if I ever used Thomas
It's
Guide.
like an atlas. It's like a
Okay.
book with the
Okay.
maps, right? And then you
Okay.
kind of look
Yes.
for the street, and then it tells you it's on J5, and you look at
Right.
the grid. I
Right.
was like, oh, this is where we are.
Yes, I have done that many times.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we had that, couldn't find it. So it's like my brother-in-law's like, let's pull over here. Let's figure where we are. Pulled over to where we were parked on next to a curb, and then I looked to my right. It's like there's a computer learning center. It's like a trade school. So I was like, while you're looking, let me go check this place out. So I walked in,
Mm.
computer learning center. And because I had a friend who actually went to that school. So I was
Okay.
curious.
Yeah.
And I walked in, you were greeted by a man in a suit. And it's like, would you like to take an aptitude test? And I'm like, because they offer different programs. There's programming, there's engineering,
Mhm.
electronics, stuff like that. So they test your aptitude. So I took a test. I don't know if it's true, but the sales, because it's sales, right? Sales basically told me you have the aptitude for engineering.
Okay.
You should take a computer electronics class. It's like a 6 month thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, how much is that? It's like, oh, it's $15,000. I was like, I don't have fifteen thousand
Wow.
dollars.
Yeah.
It's like we have grants. We can apply for grants. I was like, and you can apply for a student loan. So I did an application for a grant and got approved on the spot, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it wasn't like 100% grant. There was like I think we still they still wanted me to pay like $5,000. I applied for a $5,000 student loan, and I got approved. So went back home. My mom's like, "So what? How was the
Oh, that all
test?"
happened in one
In
day.
one day, yeah,
Oh, you left to go take the
yeah.
test, and
My
then
my
you
brother in
ended
law
up
was sitting in the car.
and you were like,
Yeah,
total change in one
yeah,
day. Yeah.
and yeah. So came back home. My mom's like, "So how was the test?" I was like, "We got lost. We didn't know." But guess what? I'm starting school in 2 weeks. She's like, "What?"
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. How
and
fast.
yeah,
Yeah.
and in 2 weeks, and then one of the things about that school is like they had a placement program. So right before you graduate, they place you with basically help you look for a job.
Right.
So before, like a couple of months before I graduated, I was doing like a part time for like a tech company. Uh, oh, at that time, a tech company is someone who fixes computers, right?
Okay.
They basically send you to different uh, contracts where you fix their computers. So
Right.
that's where like, I guess my professional career actually started by
That's
fixing
such an
computers.
interesting story because your computers are popping up in your
Yeah,
life. You know, the AOL chat rooms and then you're like, you just happen to get lost. You just happen to get lost
yeah,
and you were sent out to go. You were told to go do something and then you get lost. And then you just happen to pull over by this school that's computers.
yeah.
And, I mean, it's kind of,
It's
it
weird, right?
led.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that's why when all of the years when people ask how did you start with computers, like it was, I don't know, it was how do you say it, like I don't really believe in fate,
Uh
but
huh.
if there's an alternative word for that, it's that. It's like I just basically literally stumbled upon it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it all started. That's where it all started.
Yeah. So you went home.
Hmm.
You're like, "I did this." And the response was,
I was like, oh, okay, like my at least because at that time, if you knew me right over the years, it's like I had no sense, I had no direction. Like if you can't even work at McDonald's, like what future do you have, right? Like I had no discipline. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do.
right.
So I guess from my mom's perspective, It's like, oh, well, you had the initiative to apply for a student loan and actually go to school. That's something.
Right. Right. There's some yeah, some direction, a
There's
goal.
some
You're
direction. Yeah.
working towards something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was like, oh, it's great. We just had to figure out how to pay because you don't pay the loan until like after you
Right.
graduate. So,
Right.
so yeah, that was that's how I ended up in IT.
So what happens after that? So do you finish? Do you finish
Oh yeah,
the school?
I
Okay.
finished this. Yeah, I
You
was placed
finished?
a couple of months before as
Okay.
part time. When the program was done, I became full time to
Okay.
the company. So yeah, sent us. I started in that company fixing computers, replacing sound cards at that time, motherboards, memory, like
The hardware.
the hardware stuff. Yeah,
You're
yeah,
learning a lot about how it all
yeah.
works.
And then started doing networks.
Right.
Getting all the certifications. And then we started doing more project management and then strategy. Um, yeah, and then we had pretty cool projects at that time. We
Mhm.
worked with a lot of Fortune 500 companies
Mhm.
from different verticals, from aerospace to defense to entertainment, healthcare. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
And that's where I got my exposure in different industries
Okay.
in tech at the time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then it got to the point where again I was okay. I'm making money, making good money at the time, but then I was like, they're charging these companies like this much. I'm getting paid this much. So I was
Yeah.
like, why don't I just do this on my own?
Yeah.
Like, so, and it didn't feel at that time like there's no sense of gratitude because it's like, oh, you let's say I guess the turning point for me was I was doing a project for Wells Fargo in San Francisco, and we were building something that saved them millions of dollars per year, right? And when we were done, okay, thank you. That's it. Like there's no, you know, hey, we just helped save you like $30 million a year just
Yeah.
in this branch, right?
Right.
And so I was like, what in a way it's like what are we doing? Like why so that's when I started looking into small businesses.
So
That's
that was sort of the turn right there
mhm,
of it's a value thing, it sounds
yeah.
like where you see recognition and hard work should be rewarded and
Mhm.
some things that you felt like weren't happening
Yeah.
there.
Or at
Yeah.
least acknowledged.
Or acknowledged. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we know that won't have a piece of that $30 million,
Right.
but
But
but it's $30 million is nothing for Wells Fargo.
mhm.
So you're a small gear in a big machine.
Right. Right.
So that's to me that was like, oh, there's no sense of fulfillment
Yeah.
by doing that.
Yeah.
So that's when I mean I still work corporate, but I started kind of like helping small businesses.
Mhm.
And that's when I also realized I started helping and with them, you can save them $1,000 a month. They're like, oh my God, thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impactful in a different kind of way.
Hmm.
I think also small business, it's more personal than
Oh,
a
yeah.
small business. Like that's and your whole life is wrapped up in that
Yeah.
business.
It's food on their
It
table,
is.
right? It's tuition for their kids. It's more personal. So
Mhm.
even like I said, even a few $100s, $1,000, it's a big deal for
Yeah,
small businesses.
and I can see where that would be special to you too because you believe in small business yourself. Like the idea of hustling
Hmm.
and getting out and making things
Yeah.
happen. I mean, you were doing it since you were 8.
Yeah.
So you probably have a high level of
Uh,
appreciation
I
for
relate with
people
them
that,
more. Yeah.
yes, relate, an appreciation for people that go out and do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So what
And
happened after that? You
so I still work for corporate and then kind of doing the small business on the side. Uh, and then it slowly become more and more small business. I would only have one corporate project
Mhm.
um, until, I mean, it all led to Cliente, right? So I
Right.
was doing so there's this boarding. pet boarding grooming company in LA that hired me to help them reduce their expenses
Mhm.
or help them increase the revenue. Basically, they wanted to increase their margins. So what I did a full audit for engagements like that. I will do a full audit. I want to learn everything, how you do everything in your business, because that's how we spot the gaps.
Mhm.
So as I was doing that, I noticed that they had this one employee whose full-time employee whose sole job is to chase people for reviews. I knew nothing about reviews at that time. It wasn't a thing for
Right.
me. I was like, I was looking at what this person's doing. It's like, he had like a long list of watching Google, chasing people, calling them, texting, emailing, and when they leave a review, you would cross them out, right? So it's a full time job to get people to leave reviews. So I was
Mhm.
like, why don't we move this person to the money making side of the business and let me figure this thing out. So I created a simple workflow, basically just try to mimic what the person did
Yeah.
in an automated way. Um, and I just built a simple workflow to do that. And it worked. They were getting reviews, right?
Yeah.
It was clunky. It was really like, it's not probably not even like an MVP for a software.
Yeah.
But it worked. So I was like, oh, okay, that might be a fluke. So I tested it with another client. It's like, hey, I have this thing. They'll help you collect reviews. We want to try it. It's free. You want to try it? It's like, sure. And it worked. It's like, okay, that has to be coincidence. So I tested
Yeah.
it with a third client and the same thing.
And
And I'm
now
like,
you're onto something.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. It looks like this is a real problem, or this is a solution to a real problem. So that's when I started really packaging it to its own thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, my first, I mean, and I started doing it for free because I wanted to grab
Right.
all the data.
Right.
And that's how it all started.
Yeah.
And now 8 years in, 8.5, it's now a full blown, its own,
Its own
it's its
business.
own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I can see where that particular business probably means a lot to you because of your desire to help small
Mhm.
business in particular
Yeah.
and reward, and recognize.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've talked about that a couple times about recognition,
Yeah.
of a job well
The
done. And that's
pride. Yeah.
really, yeah. And that's what reviews are.
Yeah. And my favorite part of that is when the 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 clients, the local businesses, when they share their reviews,
Yeah.
because that means they're proud of it. And
Right.
being and I take such pride in that,
Mhm.
that I have a small piece.
Yeah.
I'm a part of that in such a small way to get them to that point where they're proud of their reputation.
Right. Well, I think one of the things that I do know about your company is that you personally talk to
Hmm.
clients, that it's not where people just sign up and then, they talk to AI or they talk, or they never
Mm-mm.
talk to anybody. Like you actually speak to people and you engage with the owners and you care. You
Yeah.
care that it's working and doing good for them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, every single customer that we have is somebody that was on my onboarding calendar.
Right.
That's when we, you know,
Yeah. So every customer gets to talk to the founder.
yeah,
Yeah. It's amazing.
yeah,
What a story.
yeah. And
It's a
that's,
beautiful story.
oh, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I
Oh,
mean,
of
so
course.
many lessons and, I think it's awesome that you were hustling at 8.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, at
I
that time,
mean,
I didn't think it was hustling. It was just like, oh, I just want to make some money.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's what you were
Yeah.
doing, so young. And that just I mean, entrepreneurship is showing up in your life
Mhm.
from the time that you were a kid, and so has tech, both
Both.
from the time you were young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's such a, like, I think I'm glad that happened. I'm glad that we got lost. And,
Mhm.
because now it's such a, being a tech, a tech bro, as they
Yeah,
call it around,
yeah,
being a tech bro, and also understanding how businesses run
right.
is a very useful combination,
Yes.
especially if you're a problem solver, right?
Right.
Because we're not just saying, hey, this is a problem, this is a solution. We actually build the solution.
Right. Yeah.
and so it's end to end.
Yeah,
Um, and I think that's the part of the journey that I appreciate the most. Being
mhm,
able to do the tech part, navigate to the business part, and now having it all kind of
for
together.
sure. Yeah, it all
Yeah.
works together.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, the getting lost, the comment that you made about getting lost, I think that's significant too. It's such a moment in time for you. And it also goes to show that sometimes things happen that maybe aren't planned or you
Hmm.
want that aren't important,
Yeah.
that put you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that. I
Yeah.
believe that all the more now that, hey, if this is something that you really want to do,
Yeah.
and if it's not a bad thing, I think the more you want it, then you kind of gravitate. Either you gravitate towards it, or it'll gravitate towards you. It'll find you, or you'll find it.
Yeah. Great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good,
You
good
just gotta.
insight.
I guess you gotta want it enough. But although at that time I was like, it was just an option, right? But being like you said, I love computers. I love tinkering with stuff. I love building stuff. So it just made sense that I went
It
in
was
that
in you.
direction. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in you to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, pieces of advice for entrepreneurs, people that are in the early days that are kind of thinking about a business, or maybe they're trying to get a business off the
Hmm.
ground, like thinking about yourself back then.
Hmm.
What are some things you might say to those people?
Now in hindsight, find your why. Like, why do you want to do what you want to do? Because like over the years, I had people come to me, it's like, I want to start a business. And if I ask them why, it's like, because I want to make $1 million, whatever. And I'm like, that's not a why. Like, money is an outcome. It's a byproduct. There has to be a deeper reason to why you want to do something. And if it's something of good nature, money will always follow. Like, if yeah, and just aim to serve.
Totally.
That's the biggest thing. It's like having a heart of a servant. I think that
Mhm.
it's the biggest driver, and that's if because if you're just there for the money, the moment you don't have money, you're gonna quit.
Right. Yeah.
But if it's deeper than that, if it's bigger than that, then it doesn't matter if you make money or not. The money will follow.
I would agree with that. I think there's a confidence in a solid why too.
Hmm.
Because you're right, when it gets really hard, you have to kind of lean back on that. And
Hmm.
if you're following your why, I don't know, there's something in you that just is driven,
Hmm.
to make that happen, whatever it is, if you're
Yeah.
following a good solid why.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
a metric. It's your metric, right?
Right.
So if your metric is money, and if you don't meet it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm done because I didn't
Right.
make what I was shooting for."
Right.
But if it's bigger than that, you will claw your way
Yeah.
into that. You will always find a way.
Mhm.
If your if your mission is to help whoever, right? You're not gonna stop until you do.
Mhm. Totally. You're
So
right,
that's
man.
that's yeah, that's sort of like my mission is to help as many businesses as possible that I'm allowed to. Yeah.
Well, you're working on it. Yeah.
Working on it, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and
Every
it's
day.
fun. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, just even right now, like, it's it's tough because it's like, again, it's not a steady paycheck, right?
Right.
But there's a lot of satisfaction and a lot of joy, a lot of pride in helping businesses. So,
Totally agree.
yeah.
Well, Rengie, this was awesome.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing so much of your story, all the way from 8 years old. That was amazing,
Yeah,
and it really, I think it shows us how your life has been shaped, by all these decisions, and how it ended up getting you here.
yeah, yeah.
Totally.
Totally. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This has been fun. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
cool.
you.
All right, you're
Bye.
welcome. Thank you.